What if the most dangerous person in your social circle is the one who never says anything? Not the loud one, not the one spreading rumors, not the obvious manipulator, the quiet one, the one who listens, remembers, and never participates. Most people assume refusing to gossip is a sign of innocence, kindness, moral superiority. But dark psychology asks a more uncomfortable question. What if silence isn't purity? What if it is power? Tonight we're dissecting the psychology of people who refuse to gossip. Not the surface explanation, the hidden motives, the social advantages, the strategic silence that can make someone invisible or untouchable. Because in a world addicted to talking, the person who doesn't talk controls the room. Gossip is social currency. It's how humans bond, rank each other, and negotiate status. Evolutionary psychologists argue gossip replaced physical combat. Instead of fighting, we talk. We shape reputations. We form alliances. We exile threats without ever throwing a punch. So when someone refuses to gossip, they're stepping out of the primary system most people use to compete, and that immediately makes them psychologically unusual. 1. Possibility is moral restraint, but dark psychology always looks for the secondary gain. What does silence give them? First, information asymmetry. When you gossip, you reveal your opinions, loyalties, and emotional triggers. You expose what excites you, what threatens you, who you envy, and who you admire. Every rumor you share is data about you. The non-gossiper collects data without leaking their own. They become evolved. People talk around them freely because they feel safe. Ironically, their refusal to gossip makes others gossip more in their presence. Humans interpret silence as trustworthiness, and trustworthiness attracts confession. Over time, the quiet person knows everyone's secrets while revealing none of their own. That's not just personality. That's strategic positioning. Second, reputation insulation. Most social damage comes from words that travel. People who gossip eventually become the target of gossip. It's a feedback loop. If you're known to talk, others assume you talk about them too. The non-gossiper sidesteps this entirely. Their image becomes clean, neutral, almost untouchable. Even if someone tries to accuse them, there's no evidence trail, no quotes, no witnesses, no pattern. In social psychology, this creates what's called reputational buffering. Their silence acts like armor. Others hesitate to attack because there's nothing obvious to weaponize. Third, emotional control. Gossip is impulsive. It's dopamine-driven bonding. You feel included when you share secrets. You feel powerful when you reveal hidden information. Most people chase that hit without noticing. The person who refuses gossip is overriding a primal reward loop. That suggests either high emotional regulation or calculated detachment. Some of these individuals genuinely don't care about social drama. Others care deeply, but understand that emotional restraint increases influence. In dark psychology, restraint is often more intimidating than aggression. Anyone can explode. Few can stay still. Stillness signals control, and control attracts authority. People subconsciously defer to those who appear less reactive. Fourth, psychological invisibility. The loudest people in a group attract scrutiny. The silent observer fades into the background, and background figures see everything: office politics, friend group tensions, hidden rivalries. They watch patterns unfold without becoming a character in the drama. This is a classic intelligence gathering advantage. Interrogators, negotiators, and high-level leaders are trained to speak less. Then they listen. Silence forces others to fill the gap. Humans hate empty space in conversation. We rush to fill it, often revealing more than we intended. The non-gossiper weaponizes that discomfort without saying a word. Fifth, social unpredictability. People feel safest when they can categorize others. The joker, the leader, the gossip, the caretaker. Labels reduce uncertainty. The silent person resists labeling, and uncertainty creates psychological tension. We watch them more closely. We assign depth to them. We assume hidden intelligence or hidden motives. Silence becomes a projection screen for other people's fears and respect. In dark psychology, ambiguity is power. If no one knows where you stand, no one knows how to attack you. But there's a darker layer still. Not all non-gossipers are virtuous observers. Some refuse gossip not because they reject manipulation, but because they prefer a cleaner form of it. Gossip is messy. It spreads uncontrollably. It creates chaos. A more controlled personality doesn't spread rumors. They place information surgically. One sentence, one hint. One perfectly timed comment delivered privately. Then they step back and let others do the gossiping for them. They remain technically innocent. This is social chess. Indirect influence. The illusion of neutrality while shaping outcomes from the shadows. The less they speak, the more weight their rare words carry. When a known gossip talks, people discount it. When the silent one speaks, everyone listens. Their credibility becomes amplified by scarcity. Of course, not every quiet person is a mastermind. Some are conflict avoidant. Some fear rejection. Some grew up in environments where speaking led to punishment. Trauma can produce silence just as easily as strategy. But dark psychology isn't about assuming evil. It is about recognizing that behavior always carries advantages, even when those advantages aren't conscious. Refusing to gossip creates distance from the herd, and distance creates perspective. Perspective creates leverage. The person outside the drama often ends up steering it. Here's the paradox. People trust non-gossipers more while revealing more to them, which gives them the greatest potential power to harm. Yet the very fact they don't use that power reinforces the trust. It's a self-reinforcing loop. They become the social equivalent of a loaded weapon that never fires. Everyone knows it could. That's why the room adjusts around them. And whether they intended or not, their silence reshapes the social hierarchy. In a culture addicted to exposure, oversharing, and public commentary, restraint looks almost alien. It signals discipline, mystery, depth, even superiority. Humans instinctively assign higher status to those who appear less needy for validation. The non-gossiper doesn't chase approval through shared secrets. And the person who doesn't chase often ends up being chased. So the next time you meet someone who never participates in gossip, don't just assume they're passive. Ask a better question. What do they know? What are they choosing not to say? And how much power lives inside that choice? If this kind of psychological deep dive fascinates you, the hidden motives, the social games we play without realizing, the dark patterns shaping everyday behavior, you're exactly the kind of mind this channel was built for. Check out my other videos where we break down manipulation tactics, silent power moves, and the psychology people use on you daily without your awareness. Subscribe now. Because the more you understand the game, the harder it becomes for anyone to play you, and once you start seeing these patterns, you'll never hear silence the same way again.